Shalom. We're back with another video. So before I get started, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekahak Wadash. Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai being the true name of who the word English called Jesus. Bahashem literally means in the name, and Rekahak Wadash means spirit holy. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the 144,000, to the 1/3, to the hopeful elect. Shalom. We're here with another lesson. I'm gonna call there should be no respect of person in judgment. And we're gonna get to this article from The Guardian, written by James Burke of the International Security Correspondent 2 days ago. The UN Human Rights staff urged leadership to declare Israel war in Gaza a genocide. Hundreds of employees of the United Nations leading human rights agency have backed an international letter telling its leadership to declare Israel offensive in Gaza a genocide and to call the UN members states to suspend arms sales to Israel. The 1,100 word letter signed by a quarter of the staff, 2,000 staff of the Geneva and New York based Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights, the OHCHR, said that Israeli offensive in Gaza meets the legal threshold of genocide and that this means arms sales, transfer, and related logistical or financial support to Israeli authorities constitute a clear breach of international law by all those involved. The OHCHR employees told The Guardian that they were frustrated with the failure of the agency's head, Volker Turk, to move beyond condemning Israel. The message has been the same for almost 2 years. Criticizing Israel is not enough. He's saying exactly what step members states need to take to meet their obligation to prevent genocide, very firmly pointing out that the legal consequences for leaders, officials, and private businesses if they don't, said one staff member who signed the letter. Another praised Turk's criticism of Israel for grave breaches of international law and apparent war crimes, but charged that the decision to avoid clear public statement about genocide was a political, not a legal choice. So he could have done it, but he's thinking about his political career, so he's just not going to do it. The letter seen by The Guardian said that based on the available evidence and authoritative assertion by the UN appointed expert, as well as legal and international humanitarian law, professionals and legal thresholds for genocide has not been met. I mean, we all seen the videos, the pictures, and everything else. If that's not genocide, I don't know what they would call it. We therefore urge the office to state the legal characterization publicly. The OHCHR has a strong legal and moral responsibility to denounce acts of genocide, and that failing to denounce and unfolding genocide undermine the credibility of the UN and the human rights system itself, the letter adds. The UN officials have said that the only international court can declare a genocide, a process that takes many years. Wow. Expert on International Court of Justice, the ICJ, said in July that the judgment on whether Israel was committing genocide in Gaza was unlikely before the end of 2027 at the earliest. This is crazy, man. Let's see. Really really caution why the ICJ is denying Gaza genocide verdict. Many international human rights groups have already said a genocide is underway in Gaza, where the Israeli offensive had killed more than 63,000 people, mostly civilians, and injured 150,000 and displaced almost the entire 2.3 million population. UN-backed experts declared a famine in part of the devastated territory earlier this month. Israeli officials reject the charges of genocide as outrageous and false and says the country is acting in self-defense. I mean, how is it self-defense at this point? After Hamas surprise, they still hopping on that like they hopping on fucking what's that thing they love to talk about? Crap. The Holocaust. Yeah. They hopping on that like it's still a Holocaust. I mean, that's as much as we need to get into that. We see that they're not gonna declare what Israel is doing as genocide. I mean, why would they when the Israeli, those small hats, run everything in the world anyway? So they're not gonna come against them. If it takes the 2027 for them to declare this a genocide after seeing the things that they have done, I mean, there's so many stories about people going to the food trucks and getting gunned down, or coming from the food trucks and getting come down. The fact that they even got a famine going on there, a man-made famine at that. A man-made famine. Not something the Lord did like through nature, but he did it through men, the Israelis, where food trucks can't even get in. They can't even bring food to the people. Food, medical aid, or anything like that. They're bombing hospitals, schools, then saying that Hamas is in there and they're the one who's taking all the food. If this ain't genocide upon the people, I don't know what it is, man. Matter of fact, let's go into that word genocide. Let's get the etymology of the word. Slocky. Alright, this is the etymology online. Genocide. Now, 1944. Apparently coined by Polish-born U.S. jurist Raphael Lickerman in 1900 through 1959 in his work Axis Rule in Occupied Europe on page 19, in reference to the Nazi extermination of the Jews, literally killing of a tribe, from Greek genos, race or kind, from the pi root gene, to give birth, to beget, with derivative referring to procreation and familial tribal group, plus side a killing. The proper formation would be genocide. Generally speaking, genocide does not necessarily mean the immediate destruction of a nation, except when accompanied by mass killing of all. And we're seeing them trying to mass kill these people. Then they put these people into a small area in Gaza, and they're slowly but surely taking out all the civilians that are left. That's why they're moving into the Gaza major cities, to get rid of most of them as well. By accomplished by mass killing of all members of a nation. It is intended rather to signify a coordinated plan of different action aimed at destruction of essential foundation of life of national group, with the aim of annihilating the group themselves. Salaki about that. Earlier in similar sense of popularicide in 1799 from French, popularicide by 1792, a word from revolution. This was taken into German as, I'm not even going to try to say that. The genocidal, the Hein, which in English 1893, a folk murdering ethnocide, is attended from 1974 in English in 1970 in French. So basically, you ain't got to kill a whole nation at once, but it's saying even if you aim to kill all of them. And we done heard on many occasions where they said they would like to kill the people of Gaza. They call them by a different name. They call them Edom, so they saying it's their right to destroy Edom because the Bible said it so. This is one of the few times that they will say that, the Bible say anything, not they Talmud. They supposed to be Talmudists. Why don't the Talmud say they can kill Edom? But that's neither here or there.
Since the fragile ceasefire collapsed mid-March, Palestinians have been subjected to near daily airstrikes. Hospitals like this one in Jabalia continue to receive an influx of wounded and killed. Now, the Israeli army is going to intensify its offensive and plans to conquer the Gaza Strip.
Gaza's population will be moved for its own protection.
The announcement made by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday has rippled throughout the international community.
Let me take this back. Look how evil this man looked when he did this. Let's go back a little bit. Look at this face, man. Look at this face. Pure evil, man.
Netanyahu on Monday has rippled throughout the international community. France's foreign minister called the new military campaign unacceptable.
The Israeli government is in clear breach of international law and international humanitarian law.
While the UN has urged utmost restraint.
This will inevitably lead to countless more civilians killed and the further destruction of Gaza.
But the United States still stands staunchly behind its ally, and President Donald Trump says his office is ready to help.
People are starving, and we're going to help them get some food. Hamas is making it impossible because they're taking everything that's brought in, but we're going to help the people of Gaza.
As part of the escalation, Israel's Security Cabinet also unanimously approved plans to put the army in charge of food and other goods in the enclave. However, for more than 2 months, they have barred any supplies from entering, and rights groups have decried the humanitarian crisis that has pushed thousands of children to the brink of death from starvation. While Hamas, for its part, has said it will not be continuing ceasefire negotiations as long as Israel's, quote, hunger war continues in the Gaza Strip. In Jerusalem, too, there is discontent. More than 70% of Israelis say they do not trust the current government, and hundreds protested outside the Knesset on Monday night. Some argue that the war is continuing so that Netanyahu can keep his job.
Now, their own people is rebelling, saying that they're trying to commit genocide. There's other nations saying that they're committing genocide. Heck, the whole world is saying they're committing genocide. But yet, the people at the UN believe that they haven't even reached a pact to where they can condemn this as genocide. Now, how is everybody else seeing what's going on, but you can't see it? Matter of fact, let's go into the law a little bit to see what do they consider as genocide. All right. This is the Convention on Prevention and Punishment of Crimes of Genocide, approved and proposed for signature and ratification or for accession by General Assembly Resolution 260A 111 of 9 December 1948, entry into force January 1951, in accordance with Article X. The contracting parties having considered the declaration made by General Assembly of the United Nations is its Resolution 96 dated December 11 of 1946 that genocide is a crime under international law, contrary to the spirit and aims of the United Nations, and condemned by the citizens of the world. So the citizens of the world are condemning this already. Yet, for some reason, the guy in the UN that make the judgment on what's genocide or not, it's saying the conditions haven't been met. So we're going to read a little bit more, recognizing that at all periods of history, genocide has inflicted great loss on humanity, and being convinced that in order to liberate mankind from such audacious scourge, international cooperation is required. Hereby agree as hereafter provided. Article 1. The contracting parties confirm that genocide, whether committed in time of peace or in time of war, is a crime under international law, which they undertake to prevent and to punish. Article 2. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part. So that article saying you don't even have to destroy the whole Palestinian group, just part of it. And we're seeing the Israelis destroying part of the Israeli people, the Palestinian people. So right now they will be already fall under international law of genocide, like everybody is saying. In whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such, killing members of that group. We're seeing them do that. B, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of a group. We're seeing that. Even in the video we just seen it. C, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculating to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. Man, they batting 3 for 3 already. Come on, bro. And you still saying you don't see it? D, imposing measures intended to prevent birth within the group. How are they doing that? Through their famine. Forcefully transferring children of the group or another group. They're doing all this. Remember they said they're going to move these people out of their homes. The following acts shall be punishable: genocide, conspiracy to commit genocide or direct and public incitement to commit genocide, attempt to commit genocide, complacency in genocide. Article 4. Person committed genocide or any of the other acts enumerated in Article 3 shall be punished, whether they are constitutionally responsible ruler, public official, or private individual. See, so Benjamin Netanyahu and his whole cabinet should all be punished at this point for the things that they're doing in Gaza. But yet, as we seen, the head guy in the UN that's over these kind of decisions has said he don't think that they're doing anything that would be considered genocide by the law that the UN has stated. We just read it. At least 3 of the 4 or all of them, they're committing all of them right there in Palestine right now. But because who the Israelis say they are and who they truly are, proper judgment can't go out. They're not gonna dispense judgment against the Israelis. So that's why Benjamin Netanyahu has no problem with doing what he's doing. So we're gonna start here. This is Leviticus 5:1. If a soul sins and he hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. So yeah, the Lord is saying if you, and I'm using in this case right here, where the head guy in the UN who's over whether somebody is committing genocide or not, he sees and he knows what the Israelis doing is genocide, but he won't dispense proper judgment upon it. He won't cast it as a genocide. He's saying, well, we got to wait a few more years to see. A few more years and them people won't be there. We're watching the Israeli government destroy these people. Like I said, if you go watch videos, read other articles, there's people who trying to run up there to get food and they're getting gunned down by the Israeli soldiers. Or they're walking back from getting water and you got drones blowing them up. You got tanks blowing them up. They're still getting gunned down. I mean, what else can you call this? These are not men of war that they're killing. These are women, children, and elderly men who have no will to fight, but yet they're mercilessly destroying these people. They're doing so much against them that they don't push these people into a small corner, right where they want to have them and they're probably about ready to unleash an all-out offensive on them and just completely wipe them out. I couldn't really find a video that I wanted, but I remember there were plenty of videos of them saying that they were going to destroy the Palestinian people. And we're watching it. But before I go, let's get this in another translation. Let's go down to the, let's see what that was. Let's see. All right, we're going to get it in the GW first, in the God's word. The Lord continued. Now, if you are a witness under oath or won't tell what you saw or what you know, you are sinning and will be punished. Yeah, they're going to be punished because you're accessory to that crime, as they do here in Babylon. They have it to where if you witness a crime and you don't say nothing, or you don't tell on the person who did it, they'll call you accessory to it, and you'll be punished by the same crime that they're being punished by. So this guy should be punished under the law for not wanting to call this what it truly is, a genocide. And I'm going to get the last one in the NLT. If you are called to testify about something you have seen or that you know about, it is sinful to refuse to testify, and you will be punished by your sin. Yeah, he's refusing to testify that what he's seeing is genocide. He know what it is. He sees it, but he don't want to testify against it. Why? Because it's the Israelis. It's the people who really is running everything behind closed doors. Got all the money and the power. And nobody really wants to come against them. But in judgment, you're not supposed to have a respect of people, respect of person. You're supposed to deal righteously. You're supposed to deal out righteous judgment. But here in this world where Esau, Edom rule, there is no righteousness. Neither is righteous judgment being brought out. So it's not a surprise that something like this is going on to where they don't want to speak about it. We're going to go here. Leviticus 19 and 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. See? The Lord said you don't supposed to do unrighteousness in judgment. And it's unrighteous not to call this a genocide when you know that's exactly what it is. Thou shalt not respect the persons of the poor, nor honor the persons of the mighty. And that's what they're doing. They're honoring the person of the mighty by not committing righteous judgment upon them, by not giving them the judgment they so richly deserve. So that's why Netanyahu can commit these war crimes, commit genocide, and not have nothing to worry about, because righteous judgment is not going out from the UN. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. And we see he don't want to judge his neighbor. Neither does the United States, who's backing this bullshit. It's Hamas' fault that these people can't. How is it Hamas' fault? Hamas is not the one that's got the border coned off to where food can't enter. Hamas is not the one that when people run up to the stand trying to get something to eat, they're getting gunned down. Hamas is not the one that just randomly killing civilians and don't care. It's not Hamas. It's the Israelis. If it wasn't their own people, wouldn't be coming against them like they are. As the video says, 70% of their people don't even trust their current leadership. So if they weren't the one doing it, why would they have a problem with their leadership, man? Answer that. Why would they have a problem? Because they know what they're doing is wrong. And they understand it's genocide. And they want Benjamin Netanyahu to come down and be judged by the law. But because the Israeli government have people in high places, they don't have to worry about that. Because they know they judge by respect of person, no one's going to come against them. Nor would they testify that what they're doing is wrong in the eyes of the world, let alone the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh. So with them not testifying, with them not saying anything, that's just like saying that they're doing nothing wrong, even though they're doing all kind of wickedness and evil. And we know what the Lord say about those who say evil is good. We're going to go here. Isaiah 5:20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil. And that's what they're doing. By you not speaking up and speaking against the Israeli government for their brutalization, their genocide of the Palestinian people, you're saying what they're doing is okay. Basically saying it's all good. But the Lord say, woe unto them that call good evil. They call evil good and good evil, to put darkness for light. Yeah, they're trying to make it seem like what the Israeli government doing, that they have all the right. When they knew that attack was coming. Well, they was attacked first, so it's only right that they respond the way they doing. No, man. It's not all right. Because they're not fighting against the army. They're fighting against regular civilians. And light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. The Lord said, woe to you. Matter of fact, let's go into that word woe. Because this should be an open and shut case of what's going on. But, like I said, when you judging by respect of person, you're not giving proper judgment. And you're not giving proper judgment. Let's see. No, my bad. I was looking at the wrong one. Salaki. That was Isaiah. Let's see. What was that? Isaiah 5:20. Salaki.
Strong's H, 1945. Hoy. Hoy.
Hoy, a prolonged form of strong H 1930, akin to H 188. O, alas. O, ho, o, or woe. Let's see. Let's go into the root of the word. Ho. Permutation from strong H 1929 O, alas. Let's go into this. Ha. A shortened form of strong H 162I, expressing grief, woe, or worth. So sometimes it don't really give you the definition that you really want. Let's try different translation. Let's see. Let's go with this easy translation. It will be very bad for people who call evil things good, and they that call good things evil. See? That woe means very bad things for those who join in with evil doings. As the scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked will not go unpunished. So if you're joining hand with the wicked and the evil things that they're doing, the Lord is going to punish you right along with their wicked. I mean, come on now. You see this is blatant genocide. But to refuse to do it, you gotta have your cabinet, maybe more, writing a letter to you telling you, hey, condemn these people. Say that this is a genocide. Condemn them for the acts they doing. You have their own people who's saying, hey, they're committing genocide. Condemn Netanyahu and his board for the wicked they're doing. You got people all over the world saying that this is genocide, but for some reason, you can't see it. You can't see the truth that's sitting right there before your eyes. Well, when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua starts to dispense judgment, there won't be no, well, I didn't know, or maybe I should have. You didn't. So now you're complicit with this evil act. And we all know who in the truth that all this come from the Lord on the left hand side, from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. But still, it's still a despicable act that's supposed to be talked against. That these people are doing the things that they're doing. Righteous judgment should be passed out to them. But as we see, there will be no judgment. Not till 2027, as they say. And the Palestinian people probably will be all but exterminated from over there in Gaza. By the time that hit, that's what, 2 years? 2 years from now. Maybe a year and a half, however you want to look at it. But they'll be utterly decimated. But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, who's a righteous power, who don't see the respect a person, he's going to dispense righteous judgment. He's going to make sure that these leaders like Netanyahu and Trump get what they deserve for the deeds that they have committed. What's going to end us out here in Jeremiah 32:19. Great in counsel and mighty in work, for thy eyes are open to all the ways of the Son of Man. See? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua see all the ways. So when he judges, it's going to be a perfect judgment. To give everyone according to his way and according to the fruits of his doing. So when the Lord passed judgment upon these heathens for the wickedness that they're committing upon the earth, those who join with them, hey, you can't say, well, I ain't had nothing to do with it. You did. If you complicit with their acts, that meant you're okay with the things they're doing. That means you're saying, even though they're committing evil, it's still good in your eyes. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, when he passed judgment, you're going to taste that same judgment. But that's all I had to say on that. I hope this video was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Shalom.